Okay, so I want to take the Terminator right here and morph him with Quentin Tarantino. Don't ask me why I've chosen those examples. If we get the move tool to start with, drag the Terminator into the same image as Quentin Tarantino, put him on the top order of layers. So we need to match up the eyes of the Terminator with Quentin Tarantino's eyes, and we want to match up the mouth. So we're going to have to use the transform controls, make sure that's ticked up at the top here. And we're going to want to stretch it about a bit. We're probably going to want to go into edit, transform and perspective, because Tarantino's head's slightly tilted, so we're going to want to tilt the Terminator a little bit. If we take the opacity down to about 50% just on this menu over here, you can start to line up the eyes and line up the mouth, just dragging it around until you're happy with it. Unfortunately, I had a Blue Peter moment and I already prepared one earlier. Right there. The next thing we want to do is start putting into Tarantino's face. Let's make it full screen and let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to go for the right hand side of his face so his fingers don't get in the way. And quite simply, I'm going to use the eraser tool and then I'm going to find some brushes I've got. Now I searched for some bullet hole brushes and came up with this selection over here. So I'm going to use those to start with. I want quite a nice crackly one over his eye. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that's quite nice. Some of the cracks going on there, and the more brushes you select, really, the more sporadic it's going to look, the more spread out, more natural in many respects. Okay, so let's go about there, put a little bit more up there. Okay, so that's kind of ripped his face off a little bit. I'm being really careful not to try and cut out some of the background right there, but that's worked. We've got some of the teeth. Zoom out a little bit, we can see what's going on. The next thing I'm going to do is turn off my safety layer down here, because I don't want that on, and I'm also going to turn off the Terminator layer so I can see the white of his face. I'm going to select that white area, select the colour range, tweak the fuzziness a bit to get rid of the fingers, highlights on there. And the reason I've done that is because I want to feather the selection. So I'm going to select the layer I want to work on, turn the Terminator back on now. If I go to select modify feather, set the radius to about 25 maybe, hit delete, it just smoothens the edge in between the two, between the area I've cut out. If I just undo and go backward, it's just put a bit of a blurred edge on it. It's like a gradient between the solid edge and the nothingness. It's also put it on the other side, which is kind of going onto the background a little bit, but not overly noticeable. So let's get rid of the Terminator layer again, because I really want to know where the white is on this image. Now I'm going to use the burn tool. You usually display the dodge tool in the toolbar right here. Click and hold, find the burn tool. Take the size of this down a little bit. Now the dodge, burn and sponge tool, they work on the shadows, midtones and highlights. Now I really want to work on the shadows here. I just want to add a bit of a redness all the way around this area. The reason I want to do that, if you ever have half of your face ripped off, it's probably going to swell up slightly. When something swells, it generally goes quite red. So I'm just going to work my way around this white area. Be careful not to get those fingers again. Around the chin, just redden it up a little bit. Make it a bit darker in a few places if we want. Around the top of the head. It's into the poster instead of the hair, so let's paint the hair back in. Right there as well. Okay, so again, zoom back out. Added a bit of a red area. Next thing I'm going to do is use a liquify tool, and there's two tools in particular I want to use, the pucker tool and the bloat tool. Now the pucker tool, I'll show you on this eye what it does. Click and hold, drags it in. What I want to do is just very gently go all the way around the edges of this face using this tool, just dragging all the skin in slightly, and then what I'll do, I'll show you what it's done in just a second. So I obviously want to not drag the poster bits in, but let's drag the top of it in as well. Okay, that. And if I turn the Terminator face on and just switch between the two, see straight away it's moved this redness over. See a bit more of the nose as well actually. And it's sort of put it on a bit more of a slant in towards his head. When we zoom out a bit, it looks a little bit more natural than the previous one. Apart from what we did with his eye really, but I suppose his eye would have been dragged out if it was swelled slightly, so that kind of works quite nicely. If I was doing this again, I would have probably kept a bit further away from the side of his head. I'd have also found a bigger head picture. The other thing I could have done is dropped another layer in between the Terminator layer and the Tarantino layer and put a layer of muscle tissue in, and then carved out the muscle tissue the same way that I've done this. So it would have gone from skin to muscle tissue to Terminator face. I could have left some bits of skin around the face to make it look like it was more bullet hole driven rather than half the face being ripped off driven. But those are things for you to play with. So have a go and get some results up on the Facebook.